This is take 2 since I forgot to press record the first time. Really quick update, I didn't do one last week. I've moved jobs, so I've been busy with that. And I had this trellis quilt on my background. Found out that actually I was, the day before deadline, I was asked by the editor, you are on deadline, right, kind of thing, and I hadn't actually written up the project and it was still waiting on my desk to be bound. So I had to quickly write the project. My computer broke in the meantime, so I've had to buy a new computer. And the quilt, I machine bound the quilt just to get it going and get it in the post faster, but the photography date was like a week later and it has to go across the Atlantic, so I had to pay the extra expensive postage cost. So I'm trying not to do that again. This is the next issue after the one I've just done, so I'm working hard on trying to get this done within the next week, maximum 2 weeks. This will be called, I haven't really got a name for it yet, so working title is Scallop. And these will have, I don't quite know how much you can see, you will have a big patch of this kind of kale corner on this side just to kind of make it wide enough. So I've done all of the curved piecing on this particular quilt. These are the blocks. I'll show you the top one here because it has some of the applique on there. So all of these blocks will have these little circles appliqued on there, so it's kind of similar to the trellis in that way. I've prepared all of them for the yellow circles, so all of the orange circles are all prepared, ready to be glued and then stitched down. There are 25 of these blocks, so there's a bit of applique to be done. Then I'm going to sew them all together in columns, and then each of these little gaps that you can see in between, there will be a strip in between each one. So this will be that greeny colour, this is pinky, this is bluey, just to kind of stretch out those scalloped edges a little bit more so they're not just half circles. And this is all Alison Glass diving board fabric. No new bags made this week or the week before, just because I haven't had time. I would really like to make some more bags, but these have to be priority right now, these quilts. After that one, I can do another bag, so that might fall just nicely in time for the February bag of the month, and I have bought the fabric for that. I just need to go and collect it. This is the NCW that I received in my swap. It's actually made me quite embarrassed about the one that I sent because this is made so much nicer than the one that I sent. I think she's added extra Peltex into the body, so it's not just in the flap, and that's really made it. So I'm going to have to look into doing that in the future because mine was not as solid as this. So this is, yeah, to be honest with you, the NCWs are a little bit big for me to carry around with me, so I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with this yet, and it is really nice. And I knew this when I joined up for the swap that they're a little bit too big for me, so I did go into this fully prepared that I probably wouldn't use it as my day-to-day wallet. Had a really good talk at the Calgary Modern Quilt Guild this week. Tara gave us a list of bag pattern designers, so I'm going to have a look through there and see if there's any bag patterns that kind of catch my eye that I want to try making as well. So that's Tara, who I've mentioned before, who helps me out with hardware sometimes. She is Creations, and she's based in Calgary, and she's makes some really awesome bags, and she's kind of works with leather and stuff too, so it was quite an interesting class. We learned quite a lot. And my machine went off for service. That was another thing that happened. So last weekend, I think I took it in last Sunday, took it in for service. It's $120 later. There were some issues with the needle hitting the stitch plate, which I hadn't realised, so that all got sorted out and I had it back by Tuesday. So I was only out without my machine for 2 days, but it was during that time that I had to bind that quilt, so that was fun. So I did that on my cheap Walmart Brother machine. I think that's pretty much it from me this week. I'll try and have a bit more to talk about next week. Maybe I'll have some fabric to show next week, and I'll see you then.